Hey everyone, David here, and I'm really excited to be with you today for a very important topic.
Hi friends, I'm Lily, and today we're going to talk about something that so many people experience but don't always know how to express in English.
That's right, we're talking about social anxiety today, and I want to be honest with you right from the start. This is something I've personally struggled with, so this topic is really close to my heart.
Me too, David. Social anxiety is so common, but many people feel like they're the only ones dealing with it. The truth is, millions of people around the world experience these feelings every single day.
And you know what makes it even harder? Trying to talk about these feelings in a second language like English. When you're already anxious, finding the right words can feel almost impossible.
Exactly. So today, we're going to help you learn how to express these feelings, how to talk about social anxiety, and how to communicate what you're experiencing in clear, natural English.
Before we dive in, I want to ask you something. If learning to express your feelings in English is important to you, please hit that subscribe button right now. We're here to support you every single week.
Yes, and if you or someone you know deals with social anxiety, this video is going to be really helpful. So make sure you like it and share it with others who might need it.
All right, let's get started. Lily, can I share something personal with you?
Of course, please do. I think personal stories really help people understand they're not alone in their experiences.
Well, I remember a time a few years ago when I was invited to a party with people I didn't know very well. And honestly, for days before the party, I felt so anxious and nervous that I couldn't sleep properly at night.
Oh, I completely understand that feeling. What specifically made you feel so anxious about the party? Can you describe it?
It's hard to explain, but I kept thinking, what if I say something stupid? What if people don't like me? What if I stand there alone with nobody to talk to? My mind just kept creating all these worst-case scenarios over and over again.
That's such a perfect description of social anxiety. Your mind creates all these negative possibilities that probably won't even happen, but they feel so real and scary in your head. Did you end up going to the party?
I did go, but I almost didn't. I stood outside the door for about 5 minutes trying to convince myself to go inside. My heart was beating so fast, my hands were sweating, and I just wanted to turn around and go home.
Those physical symptoms are so real and so difficult to deal with. A lot of people don't realize that social anxiety isn't just mental, it affects your body too. Your heart races, you sweat, you might feel dizzy or nauseous.
Exactly. And that's what we want to help people express today. Because when you can put these feelings into words, it somehow makes them a little bit easier to handle and manage.
I couldn't agree more. Being able to communicate what you're experiencing is such an important step. So, David, let me ask you this. When did you first realize you had social anxiety?
That's a great question. I think I always felt nervous around people, even as a child, but I didn't have the words to describe it. I just thought I was shy or quiet, or maybe just different from other people.
That's so common. Many people with social anxiety grow up thinking they're just shy, but social anxiety is actually different from shyness. Can you explain the difference for our listeners?
Yes, shyness is feeling a bit nervous or uncomfortable in social situations, but you can usually push through it and still participate. Social anxiety is more intense. It can be overwhelming and sometimes even stop you from doing things you want or need to do.
That's a really important distinction. With shyness, you might feel a little awkward at a party, but you can still enjoy yourself. With social anxiety, you might avoid the party completely because the fear and worry are just too intense to handle.
Exactly right. And social anxiety can really affect your life, your relationships, your work opportunities, your daily activities. It's not just about being a little nervous. It's about feeling genuinely afraid in social situations.
So true. Now I want to talk about the different situations that can trigger social anxiety. For some people, it might be large parties or crowds. For others, it might be something as simple as making a phone call or eating in front of people.
Right, social anxiety looks different for everyone. Some people are fine in small groups but panic in large crowds. Other people are okay with strangers but feel anxious around people they know. There's no one single type of social anxiety.
What situations make you feel the most anxious, David? What are your specific triggers?
For me, the hardest situations are ones where I feel like I'm being judged or evaluated, like giving presentations at work or meeting new people at networking events, or even just having conversations with people I don't know very well.
Those are all really common triggers. The fear of being judged or negatively evaluated by others is at the core of so much social anxiety. What about you? Do you worry about specific things in those situations?
Oh, yes, all the time. I worry that people will think I'm boring or awkward. I worry that I'll say something embarrassing or stupid. I worry that people will notice I'm nervous and think there's something wrong with me.
Those worries are so relatable to anyone who experiences social anxiety. And the difficult thing is, when you're anxious, you often become even more self-conscious, which makes everything feel worse. It's like a cycle that feeds itself.
That's such a good way to describe it. It really is a cycle. You feel anxious, which makes you act more awkward, which makes you more anxious, and it just spirals from there.
Exactly. Now, before we continue, I want to remind everyone watching, if you're learning something helpful, please hit that like button right now. It really helps us reach more people who need this information.
Thank you so much. All right, now let's talk about how actually to describe and express social anxiety in English. Let's learn the vocabulary and phrases that will help you communicate these feelings clearly.
Perfect. Let's start with basic ways to tell someone you experience social anxiety. You can say, I have social anxiety. This is simple, direct, and clear.
Or you can say, I struggle with social anxiety. The word struggle shows that it's something you're actively dealing with and working through. It's an ongoing challenge.
You can also say, I get anxious in social situations. This describes when the anxiety happens, specifically in social contexts rather than all the time.
Or you can say, I feel uncomfortable around people I don't know very well. This is a bit softer and less clinical if you're not ready to use the term social anxiety directly.
That's a good point. Not everyone is comfortable using clinical terms, and that's okay. You can also say, I'm not very good with crowds, or large groups make me nervous.
Right. There are many ways to express these feelings depending on your comfort level. Now, let's talk about describing specific symptoms and physical sensations. You can say, my heart starts racing when I have to talk to new people.
Or, I get sweaty palms before social events. Sweaty palms specifically means your hands sweat when you're nervous. It's a very common physical symptom.
You can say, I feel my face getting hot and red. This describes blushing, which many people with social anxiety experience when they feel embarrassed or self-conscious.
Or, my stomach feels upset when I'm in social situations. Many people experience nausea or butterflies in their stomach when they're anxious.
You can also say, I start shaking or trembling when I have to speak in front of people. Trembling means your body or hands shake slightly because of nerves.
These physical descriptions are so important because they help others understand that anxiety isn't just in your head, it's a real physical experience that affects your entire body.
Absolutely. Now let's talk about describing the mental and emotional aspects. You can say, I overthink everything I say in conversations. Overthink means you analyze and worry about things too much.
Or, I replay conversations in my head afterward. This means after a social interaction, you keep thinking about it over and over, usually focusing on what you think you did wrong.
You can say, I worry what other people think of me. This is one of the core fears in social anxiety, the fear of negative judgment from others.
Right. And you can say, I feel like everyone is watching and judging me. Even though this usually isn't true, it's how social anxiety makes you feel.
Right. And you can say, I have negative thoughts about myself in social situations. This describes the self-critical inner voice that often comes with social anxiety.
These are all such important phrases. Now let's talk about avoidance behaviors, the things people do to avoid situations that make them anxious.
Yes, you can say, I avoid parties and social gatherings. Avoid means you intentionally stay away from something because it makes you uncomfortable.
Or, I make excuses not to go out. This means you create reasons or explanations to decline invitations even if they're not entirely true.
You can say, I cancel plans at the last minute because I'm too anxious. This is very common with social anxiety. You agree to something when it's far away, but as it gets closer, the anxiety builds and you cancel.
Or you can say, I prefer to stay home rather than face social situations. This shows that staying home feels safer and more comfortable than going out and dealing with anxiety.
These avoidant behaviors are really common coping mechanisms, but they can actually make social anxiety worse over time because you never get the chance to see that social situations aren't as scary as your mind tells you they are.
That's such an important point. Now, before we continue, I want to remind everyone watching, if you're learning something helpful, please hit that like button right now. It really helps us reach more people who need this information.
Thank you so much. All right, now let's talk about some real dialogue so people can hear how to use these phrases in actual conversations.
Great idea. Let's do a dialogue where one person is trying to explain their social anxiety to a friend. I'll be the person with social anxiety and you be the supportive friend. Perfect. I'm ready. Go ahead and start.
Hey Lily, can I talk to you about something? I've been wanting to explain this for a while.
Of course. What's on your mind? You can tell me anything.
Well, I wanted to explain why I've been turning down invitations lately. The truth is, I struggle with social anxiety.
Oh, thank you for telling me. I really appreciate you trusting me with this. Can you help me understand what that means for you?
Sure. Basically, I get really anxious in social situations, especially with people I don't know well. My heart races, I start sweating, and I worry constantly about what people think of me.
That sounds really difficult to deal with. I had no idea you were experiencing all of that. Does it happen in all social situations?
Mostly in larger groups or at parties where I don't know many people. Small gatherings with close friends are usually okay, but big events can be overwhelming for me.
I understand. So that's why you left my birthday party early last month?
Yes, exactly. I'm really sorry about that. I wanted to stay, but I just felt so anxious that I couldn't handle it anymore. I wasn't trying to be rude or unsupportive.
Please don't apologize. I'm glad you're explaining this to me. Is there anything I can do to help make social situations easier for you?
Actually, yes. It helps if I know who's going to be there ahead of time, and if there's a quieter space where I can take a break when I feel overwhelmed, that really helps too.
That makes total sense. I'll definitely keep that in mind for future events. And if you ever need to leave early or take a break, just let me know. No judgment at all.
Thank you so much for being understanding. It means a lot to me that I can be honest with you about this.
Of course. That's what friends are for. And remember, you never have to force yourself to do something that makes you too anxious. Your mental health comes first.
That was such a supportive and understanding conversation. That's exactly the kind of response that helps people with social anxiety feel accepted and supported.
Absolutely. Now let's do another dialogue. This time, let's practice someone talking to a therapist or counselor about their social anxiety. This is a very important conversation many people need to have.
Good idea. I'll be the therapist this time, and you can be the person seeking help. Go ahead and start.
Hi. Thank you for seeing me today. I'm here because I think I have social anxiety, and it's really starting to affect my life in negative ways.
Thank you for coming in. It takes courage to reach out for help. Can you tell me more about what you've been experiencing?
Well, I get extremely nervous before any social event. Even just thinking about going to a party or meeting new people makes my stomach feel sick with worry.
How long have you been feeling this way? Has it gotten worse recently, or has this been going on for a while?
I think I've always been anxious around people, but it's gotten much worse over the past year. Now I'm avoiding almost all social situations, and it's affecting my relationships and my work.
I see. Can you describe what happens physically and mentally when you're in these situations that make you anxious?
Physically, my heart pounds really fast. I start sweating even in cool rooms. My face gets hot and red, and sometimes I feel dizzy or lightheaded. Mentally, I can't stop thinking about all the ways I might embarrass myself.
Those are very common symptoms of social anxiety. What kinds of thoughts go through your mind during these situations?
I think things like, everyone is staring at me. They can tell I'm nervous. They probably think I'm weird or awkward. I'm going to say something stupid and they'll all laugh at me.
And do you find yourself replaying these social interactions afterwards, thinking about what you said or did?
Yes, all the time. I'll lie in bed at night and cringe about something I said hours or even days ago. I analyze every little detail and convince myself that everyone thought I was strange.
That must be exhausting for you. The good news is that social anxiety is very treatable. There are several approaches we can use to help you manage these feelings and start feeling more comfortable in social situations.
Really? That gives me hope. What kind of treatments are available?
We can work on cognitive behavioral therapy techniques to help you challenge and change those negative thought patterns. We can also practice gradual exposure to social situations in a safe, controlled way, and we'll develop coping strategies you can use when you feel anxious.
That sounds helpful. I'm willing to try anything at this point because avoiding everything isn't working for me anymore.
That's a great attitude to have. Recovery is definitely possible, but it takes time and practice. The fact that you're here today is already a huge first step.
Excellent dialogue. That shows how important it is to seek professional help when social anxiety is really impacting your quality of life.
Absolutely. Therapy can be incredibly helpful for social anxiety. Now, before we continue with more vocabulary, please remember to subscribe to our channel if you haven't already.
Yes, we create helpful content like this every single week to help you improve your English and learn to express yourself clearly and confidently.
All right, now let's go through some really important vocabulary words related to social anxiety. Understanding these words will help you talk about this topic much more effectively.
Perfect. Let's start with the most important term, anxiety.
Anxiety is a feeling of worry, nervousness, or unease about something with an uncertain outcome. It's more intense than just feeling a little worried.
Example, I feel anxiety every time I have to speak in public or give a presentation at work.
Great example. Next word, social.
Social refers to relating to society, to other people, or to activities involving other people. Social situations are times when you interact with others.
Example, I enjoy social activities like going to coffee shops or attending small dinner parties with close friends.
Good. Next important word, trigger.
A trigger is something that causes a particular reaction or response. In the context of anxiety, a trigger is a situation or event that causes your anxiety symptoms to appear.
Example, large crowds are a major trigger for my social anxiety, so I try to avoid very busy places when possible.
Perfect. Next word, overwhelmed.
Overwhelmed means feeling like something is too much to handle, like you can't cope with all the demands or stimulation around you.
Example, I felt completely overwhelmed at the networking event because there were so many people talking at once and I didn't know anyone there.
I understand. Next important word, self-conscious.
Self-conscious means being excessively aware of yourself, especially of how you appear to others. You're worried about being watched or judged.
Example, I feel so self-conscious when I eat in front of other people because I worry they're watching me and judging my manners.
Great example. Next word, avoid.
To avoid means to stay away from something or to prevent something from happening. It means you intentionally don't do something.
Example, I avoid making phone calls whenever possible because talking on the phone makes me incredibly anxious and nervous.
Perfect example. Next word, symptom.
A symptom is a physical or mental sign that indicates you're experiencing a condition. It's how your body or mind shows that something is affecting you.
Example, common symptoms of social anxiety include rapid heartbeat, sweating, trembling, and difficulty making eye contact with others.
Excellent. Next word, cope.
To cope means to deal with and manage something difficult. It's about handling challenges or stress in a way that allows you to function.
Example, I'm learning healthy ways to cope with my social anxiety, like deep breathing exercises and positive self-talk.
Great. Next word, irrational.
Irrational means not based on logic or reason. In social anxiety, your fears are often irrational. They don't match the actual level of danger or threat.
Example, I know my fear of talking to strangers is irrational because nothing bad will actually happen, but I still feel terrified anyway.
Perfect example. Next word, exposure.
Exposure in the context of anxiety treatment means gradually facing the situations that make you anxious in order to become less sensitive to them over time.
Example, my therapist is using exposure therapy to help me become more comfortable in social situations by starting with small, manageable challenges.
Excellent. Next word, panic.
Panic is a sudden, intense feeling of fear or anxiety. A panic attack is when these feelings become so strong that they cause physical symptoms and feel uncontrollable.
Example, I had a panic attack at the party last week. My heart was racing, I couldn't breathe properly, and I felt like I needed to escape immediately.
That's a very clear description. Next word, judge.
To judge means to form an opinion about someone, often a critical or negative opinion. Fear of being judged by others is central to social anxiety.
Example, I constantly worry that people are judging me negatively even though I have no real evidence that they are.
Perfect. Next word, comfort zone.
Your comfort zone is the set of situations and environments where you feel safe, relaxed, and in control. Leaving your comfort zone means facing situations that make you uncomfortable.
Example, attending that conference was way outside my comfort zone, but I'm proud of myself for going despite my anxiety.
Excellent. Next word, therapy.
Therapy is professional treatment for mental or emotional issues. A therapist is a trained professional who helps people work through psychological challenges.
Example, I started going to therapy 6 months ago, and it's really helping me understand and manage my social anxiety better.
Great! Last word, recovery.
Recovery is the process of getting better, of returning to health.
With social anxiety, recovery means learning to manage your symptoms so they don't control your life.
Example, recovery from social anxiety doesn't mean you'll never feel nervous again, but it means you'll have tools to cope and won't let anxiety stop you from living your life.
Perfect. Those are all crucial vocabulary words for talking about social anxiety. Now let's review everything we've covered in today's lesson.
Yes, we've learned so much important information. Let's go through the main points quickly.
First, we talked about what social anxiety actually is and how it's different from just being shy or introverted.
We discussed the physical symptoms like rapid heartbeat, sweating, trembling, and feeling dizzy or nauseous that often come with social anxiety.
We covered the mental and emotional aspects like overthinking, replaying conversations, worrying about judgment, and negative self-talk.
We learned about common triggers for social anxiety, like large crowds, meeting new people, public speaking, and being the center of attention.
We talked about avoidance behaviors and how they can actually make social anxiety worse over time, even though they feel protective in the moment.
We practiced 2 complete dialogues, one explaining social anxiety to a friend and one talking to a therapist about getting professional help.
We learned many useful phrases for describing social anxiety, like, I struggle with social anxiety, my heart starts racing, and I worry about what people think of me.
And we reviewed 15 important vocabulary words that are essential for discussing social anxiety clearly and effectively in English.
The most important thing to remember from today's lesson is this. If you experience social anxiety, you are absolutely not alone.
That's right. Millions of people around the world deal with social anxiety, and it's nothing to be ashamed of. It's a real condition that deserves understanding and support.
And the good news is that social anxiety is highly treatable. With the right support, therapy, and coping strategies, you can learn to manage it and live a full, connected life.
Learning to talk about your social anxiety is such an important step. When you can express what you're experiencing, you can ask for the support you need and help others understand what you're going through.
Whether you're talking to friends, family, coworkers, or a mental health professional, being able to communicate clearly about social anxiety makes everything easier.
And remember, seeking help is a sign of strength, not weakness. Taking care of your mental health is just as important as taking care of your physical health.
Now, before we finish today, we have a special practice challenge for all of you.
Yes, this challenge is designed to help you practice what you learned today in a safe, comfortable way.
Here's your challenge. Write one sentence in the comments describing a situation that makes you feel nervous or anxious. You don't have to use the term social anxiety if you're not comfortable with it.
For example, you could write, I feel nervous when I have to speak English with native speakers.
Or, I get anxious when I have to attend large parties or events where I don't know many people.
Or, I feel uncomfortable when I have to make phone calls in English because I worry about my pronunciation.
We want to create a supportive community here where everyone feels safe sharing their experiences. We read every single comment, and your courage might help someone else feel less alone.
That's the beautiful thing about sharing. It reminds us that we're all human. We all struggle sometimes, and we're all in this together.
And now, it's time for our question of the day.
Everyone, pay close attention to this one.
Our question of the day is, what is one small thing that helps you feel calmer in social situations?
This could be anything at all. Maybe it's deep breathing, or having a friend with you, or arriving early so you're not walking into a crowded room.
For example, you could write, "Taking a few deep breaths before entering a social situation helps me feel calmer and more centered."
Or, having a close friend with me at parties makes me feel more secure and less anxious about socializing.
Or, "Preparing conversation topics ahead of time helps me feel more confident when meeting new people."
Write your answer in the comments below. Sharing coping strategies can be so helpful for others who are struggling with similar challenges.
Your comment might give someone else a new idea for managing their own anxiety, so please don't be shy about sharing.
All right, David, do you have any final words of encouragement before we say goodbye?
Yes, my final message is this. Be patient and compassionate with yourself. Dealing with social anxiety is difficult, and you're doing your best. That's enough.
That's beautiful. And my message is you deserve connection, friendship, and joy, just like everyone else. Don't let anxiety convince you otherwise.
Remember that small steps forward are still progress. You don't have to overcome everything at once. Celebrate every tiny victory along the way.
And if today's video resonated with you, please give it a thumbs up and share it with anyone who might benefit from this information.
Subscribe to English Talk in Practice if you haven't already. We're here every week with new lessons to help you express yourself clearly and confidently in English.
Thank you so much for trusting us with this important topic and for being vulnerable enough to learn about expressing difficult emotions.
We see you, we support you, and we believe in your ability to grow and overcome challenges one step at a time.
From both of us, thank you for being here today. You're doing an amazing job working on both your English and your personal growth.
Take care of yourself, be gentle with yourself, and remember that you're not alone in this journey.
See you in the next video. Until then, be kind to yourself.
Goodbye, everyone. We'll see you soon.
Take care and keep practicing. We believe in you.
Bye for now. Remember, progress over perfection.
See you next time on English Talking Practice.